Jess is a 31-year-old primiparous woman expecting her first baby girl. Her pregnancy was considered low risk. She presented to birthing unit in spontaneous labor, and upon initial vaginal examination, she was 5 centimeters. After 1 hour, the trace showed early occasional decelerations. 4 hours later, Jess had another vaginal examination in which she was still 5 centimeters. She was contracting mild 2 and 10. The following vaginal examination showed Jess was 6 centimeters dilated, and the trace became abnormal, showing repetitive variable decelerations. After one long bradycardic episode, the fetal heart rate remained at 90 to 95 at 4 minutes. There was a call for help. The midwife tried a change in maternal position and spoke to Jess to keep her informed about what was happening. Preparation for theatres commenced, and Jess had a Category 1 LSCS for fetal distress. Baby came out with APGARs of 6, 7, and 7 respectively. Baby was then transferred immediately to a special care nursery for further observations due to fetal distress and work of breathing. This debrief takes place in the bedside of Jess's room, 48 hours post-birth.
Hi Jess, I'm Sophie. I'm one of the midwives who'll be looking after you today. How are you going?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
That's good. Listen, before we discharge you home today, I just wanted to give you a chance to chat about your birth. I heard that you found it quite traumatic and distressing, and I'm happy to sit down with you to go through your labour and birth if you wanted.
Yeah, I think that would be helpful. I'm feeling quite overwhelmed about the birth.
I understand. What is it that you're finding overwhelming?
You know, like my sister-in-law, she gave birth recently and it went really, really well. And I'm quite disappointed in myself.
I can see that you're feeling really upset, and it's perfectly okay to feel that way. Each pregnancy and birth is different, and you know, each woman's experience will be different as well. Do you have any questions about why your birth went the way that it did?
Yeah, I just don't understand why I had to be rushed in for the operation. The midwife did say something about baby's heart rate becoming low and that my baby was becoming tired and distressed. But all these people came running in after the emergency bell, and I just didn't feel like I had a chance to ask questions or even to make a choice about what was going on.
Yeah, I'm very sorry for you that you felt that way during the birth. It's probably not how you were picturing it would go. Sometimes, for various reasons, or even unknown reasons, the babies can go into distress, which affects their heart rate. In these scenarios, it's really important that we try and make sure that the baby is birthed to avoid any risks and further complications. I had a look through your notes, and it seemed that your baby had a long period where her heart rate was quite low. So that's probably why there was a bit more of a rush at the end. Looking back now, we can see that it was probably a good idea that we got your baby out when we did, because obviously she's needed a little bit of help transitioning from womb to the real world. Heart rate was quite low. So that's probably why there was a bit more of a rush at the end. Looking back now, we can see that it was probably a good idea that we got your baby out when we did, because obviously she's needed a little bit of help transitioning from womb to the real world. But does this make any more sense? Does this bring any clarity to the situation?
Yeah, I guess. Actually, I'm still quite shaken up about the whole thing. I guess I can't help but feel guilty about Bub being in special care.
I can see why you feel that way, but you really can't beat yourself up about it or feel guilty, because there's nothing that you could have done differently. You know, you did a brilliant job of growing and protecting your baby for 39 weeks, and she just needed a little bit of help at the end, that's all.
Well, I'm just worried about whether it will affect how I bond with baby.
Well, look, that's what we're here for. We have lots of support available for mums who have their babies in the special care nursery. Ready to Cope is a really great online service that can help with adjusting to parenthood and also understanding the mental health conditions that may occur after birth. And also in regards to bonding, the Australian Breastfeeding Association has these really great resources and flowcharts, and it has support groups where mums meet up and chat about breastfeeding. So there's a bunch of stuff available for you.
Yeah, wow. There is a lot of support available, I guess. Are you able to write them down for me? I'm still quite forgetful. I still have my baby brain going on.
No worries, totally understand. Here you go.
Thank you.
So do you have any other questions for me today, Jess?
No, not at the moment, Sophie. Thank you.
So look, if by any chance you feel like you need any additional support, we're here to listen. And we will try our best to support you or link you in with the services you need. And that still applies when you go home. Midwives will still come and visit you. So please don't hesitate to ask us.
Yeah, thank you very much. I feel as though most of my questions have been answered and I can understand why I had to have the cesarean. I just hope I can be with baby soon.